Welcome to another video of Bachelor and Master English YouTube channel. Today we have a new lesson that is a very popular short story by Anton Chekhov. The title of the story is Enemies. We will be discussing about the story summary in English and Nepali. Then I shall be telling you the theme and other discussion, including in conclusion of the story. Before I begin my discussion, I should like to tell you, if you are new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe my channel. I am sure that you will be accompanying me till the end of this video. Okay, the summary of the story. Enemies is a short story written by Anton Chekhov. The story suggests that much of what happens to human beings lies beyond their control. Kirilov is a doctor of the district. His 6-year-old son Andrey has just died of diptheria. He stands watching his unconscious wife near the dead child's cot. In the meantime, the doorbell rings softly and a wealthy stranger, Aboguin, enters the hall. He requests the doctor to go with him as his wife is seriously ill. The man's voice is sincere and he is frightened. The doctor says that he is unable to go because his only son had died 5 minutes before, and his wife has become unconscious after the untimely demise of their only son. Kirilov, the doctor, forgets his social responsibility as a doctor and is obsessed with in his own pain and grief. After the death of his son, they had no chance of having another child anymore. On the other hand, Aboguin thinks that his grief is worse than that of a doctor. Aboguin requests the doctor to treat his wife in the name of humanity. However, after many requests, Kirilov unwillingly goes with Aboguin in his carriage. But when they arrive at Aboguin's house, his wife is not at home. She pretended to be ill in order to run away with her lover. Tears are flooding from his eyes. Aboguin is disheartened and tries to convince that he has done nothing wrong by calling the doctor. Aboguin tells him how he loves his wife and how he has given up his family, his service and his music for her, how dedicated he was and how sacrificing he was. But she deceived him. He is speaking deeply, sincerely to the doctor. But the doctor is unable to understand why he has been called, although his wife is in sorrow and all alone in his house. Kirilov, the doctor, is angry and he does not like to hear the grief of Aboguin anymore. He thinks that Aboguin has played a trick, a joke with him. He has been made a character of humor, and he has been insulted by this activity. And they scream at one another, and the doctor returns home cursing the rich people like Aboguin and forming a deep-rooted enmity towards them. Both of them are obsessed with their own unhappiness. The fundamental thing is that in their unhappiness, and they both start quarreling bitterly with one another. They abuse and insult one another. This unhappiness is separating them. The doctor does not accept his fees. He wants to go home. Aboguin orders his servant to send the carriage for the doctor. While they are waiting, Aboguin is trying to make as if he did not notice his enemy. The doctor is looking at him hatefully. While returning home in a carriage, all the way the doctor thinks about Aboguin, his unfaithful wife Papchinsky, instead of his sorrowful wife and dead son Andrey. He dislikes the thought of Aboguin, the rich representative, which he calls an unjust, inhuman and cruel person. They live in sorry semi-darkness and smell of sand. The doctor hardly can forget them, the unjust and unworthy of the human heart. So, this is all the summary of the story, and let me narrate the story in Nepali. Enemies, शत्रु, दुश्मन. यो दुश्मन कथाको सारांश म तपाईहरुलाई चाहिँ भन्दैछु. पढ्दा एकदम रोचक र एकदम जीवन्त छ. लेखकले त्यस्तो खालको जीवन्तता प्रदान गरेर कथालाई एउटा रोचक क्षणमा एउटा दुखान्त भए पनि यसले चाहिँ एउटा पाठकलाई त्यो खालको आनन्द दिन्छ. सेप्टेम्बर महिनाको एक साँझको बेला अचानक डाक्टर किरिलोभको छोराको मृत्यु हुन्छ, जो केवल 6 वर्षको मात्र थियो। ऊ डिप्थेरिया व्याकुते रोगबाट पीडित थियो। उसकी आमा बिलाप गर्न थाल्छिन्। त्यति बेला केही पछाडि ढोकामा कसैले आवाज दिन्छ। डाक्टर किरिलोभले पहिले नै आफ्नो नोकरहरूलाई बिदामा पठाइसकेको हुनाले ऊ आफै कोठाबाट बाहिर निस्कन्छ। उसको मुखमा पोलेको घाउ छ। अचानक एकजना अन्जान व्यक्ति अँध्यारो कोठामा घुस्दछ। उसले डाक्टरलाई खोज्न आएको हुन्छ। उसले भन्छ कि ऊ एबोगुइन हो। उसको श्रीमती बिरामी छे। उसले डाक्टरलाई उसको घर जान अनुरोध गर्छ। डाक्टरले भन्छ कि उसको एकमात्र पुत्रको भर्खर मृत्यु भएको छ। उसको श्रीमती साह्रै निराश भएकी छ। उसको चाहिँ श्रीमतीको होस नै गुमिसकेको छ अहिले। तर यस्तो बेलामा ऊ कोसँग जान सक्छ र? ऊ कसैसँग जान सक्दैन। किरिलोभ यो कुरा सुनेपछि उसको आफ्नो कोठामा जान्छ, केही पुस्तकहरू हेर्छ, अनि उसले श्रीमती र आफ्नो मृतक छोरातिर पनि हेर्छ। उसको उमेर 44 वर्ष पुगिसकेको छ र श्रीमती 35 वर्षकी भइसकेकी छ। आन्द्रे उनीहरूको पहिलो र अन्तिम सन्तान थियो। त्यहाँभन्दा अरू सन्तान उनीहरूसँग छँदै थिएनन्। डाक्टरमा एउटा सहयोगी स्वभाव छ। उसको मन अशान्ति र पीडाले भरिएको छ। एबोगुइनले पुनः बिन्ती गर्छ, डाक्टर मेरोमा गइदिनुहोस्, मेरो श्रीमतीको मृत्यु हुन्छ, म कसरी चाहिँ बाँच्न सकूँ? तपाईँले एउटा जिम्मेवारी, एउटा मानवताको नाताले पनि यो चाहिँ काम गरिदिनुहोस्। त्यति भनेपछि यो उसले गरेको बिन्तीले डाक्टरलाई छुन्छ र उनको हृदयमा चाहिँ एउटा चाहिँ सहयोगको भावना फेरि जागृत हुन्छ। र अन्तिममा डाक्टरले एबोगुइनको घरको अवस्थितिको बारेमा सोध्छ। एबोगुइनले उसको घर केवल 14 माइल पर भएको जनाउँछ। यी दुवैजना टाँगामा चढी एबोगुइनको घर जान्छन्। बाटोमा कुनै बोलचाल भने हुँदैन। जति जति गाडी अन्जान व्यक्तिको घरको छेउमा पुग्छ, एबोगुइन उति नै उत्सुक र आत्तिएको देखिन्छ। आफ्नो घर पुग्ने बेलामा एबोगुइन आत्ति हुन्छ। एबोगुइनले पहिला आफै गाडीबाट उत्रिएर डाक्टरलाई बोलाउँछ। दुवैजनाले बत्तीको प्रकाशले गर्दा एकअर्कालाई प्रष्ट रूपमा चिन्दछन्। एबोगुइनको श्रीमतीको कुनै आवाज सुनिँदैन। डाक्टरले पनि सोध्न थाल्छ कि उसको श्रीमती सन्चै होली। एबोगुइन कोठाबाट बाहिर आएर उसको श्रीमती त्यहाँ नभएको बताउँछ। किरिलोभ रिसाउँछ। अन्जान व्यक्तिले अगाडि बताउँछ कि उसको श्रीमतीले उसलाई ठुलो धोका दिएकी छ। कुनै अन्जान व्यक्तिले उसको श्रीमती भएको भन्छ। अनि अब उसको श्रीमती एफोन्सी भन्ने व्यक्तिसँग भएकी छ। उसको श्रीमती प्याप्चिन्स्की एफोन्सीसँग भएको हुनाले डाक्टरले आफ्नो श्रीमती र छोराको बारेमा सोध्न थाल्छ। उसले एबोगुइनलाई साह्रै गाली दिन्छ। तर एबोगुइनले पनि रिसाएर डाक्टरलाई तेरो फिस लैजा भनी पैसा दिन्छ। डाक्टरले पैसा लिँदैन र घर बरु चाँडो जानको लागि गाडीको बारेमा सोध्छ। एबोगुइनले गाडी उपलब्ध गराइदिन्छ। घर फर्कँदा बाटोमा डाक्टरले एबोगुइनको व्यवहार र उसकी श्रीमतीको बारेमा भुलेर डाक्टरले अमानवता, अन्याय र निठुर मन भएको त्यो व्यक्तिको बारेमा सोचिराख्छ। अब यो कथामा हामीले चाहिँ अब पीडा त दुईजनाको चाहिँ आफ्नो आफ्नो पीडा छन्। तर बढी पीडा चाहिँ यहाँ डाक्टरकै छ, जसको चाहिँ छोरो मरेको छ, 6 वर्षको छोरो। अब प्याप्चिन्स्की भाग्दैमा एबोगुइनलाई त्यति समस्या त पर्दैन। हुन त उसले धेरै माया गरेको थियो। उसको सङ्गीत छोडेको थियो, उसको काम छोडेको थियो। तर चाहिँ उसले अर्को श्रीमती पाउन सक्छ। तर यिनीहरू चाहिँ डाक्टरको परिवार अलि बुढो भएको हुनाले उनीहरूले छोराछोरी पाउन सक्ने अलि जोखिम भएको हुँदा हामीले चाहिँ यो कथामा के छ भन्दाखेरि हाम्रो सहानुभूति डाक्टर किरिलोभ र उसको श्रीमतीप्रति नै हुन्छ। तर यी दुईटाको चाहिँ जुन शत्रुता छ के भने आफ्नो आफ्नो पीडा आफैले आफ्नो आफ्नो बढी ठान्ने। डाक्टरले आफ्नो छोरो मरेकोमा चाहिँ त्यसमा बढी पीडा ठान्ने, आफ्नो दुःखहरू बराबर अरूको दुःख भएको नभन्ने। तर अनि यता एबोगुइनले फेरि आफ्नो श्रीमती चाहिँ त्यति धेरै माया प्रेम गरेर चाहिँ उसको लागि चाहिँ सबै त्याग बलिदान गरेको श्रीमतीले उसलाई धोका दिएर जाँदाखेरि आफूलाई चाहिँ धेरै पीडा भएको भन्ने ठान्ने। जोसुकै भए पनि कथामा चाहिँ डाक्टर र उसको परिवार नै बढी दुखी छ। अनि दुईटा ऊ रिसाउनु पनि स्वाभाविक छ। अब हुन त उसले चाहिँ अब डाक्टरलाई चाहिँ छल्नको लागि, उसलाई डाक्टरलाई दुःख दिनको लागि, पीडा दिनको लागि चाहिँ डाक्टर कहाँ पुगेको त होइन एबोगुइन। तर उसको श्रीमतीले चाहिँ एउटा चाहिँ त्यो चालबाजी रचेर उसलाई चाहिँ त्यहाँ डाक्टर कहाँ पठाएर आफ्नो प्रेमी एफोन्सीसँग चाहिँ भाग्न कोसिस गरेको हुनाले एउटा त्यस्तो खालको चाहिँ परिस्थिति पर्या हुनाले मात्र चाहिँ यहाँ दुवैको आफ्नो आफ्नो पीडाको कारणले यिनीहरू चाहिँ एक आपसमा बाजाबाज गर्ने एक आपसमा आरोप प्रत्यारोप गर्ने भएको हो। तर वास्तवमा चाहिँ खास दुवैको आफ्नो आफ्नो समस्या छ। तर चाहिँ युद्धका दुश्मनहरू चाहिँ होइनन् यिनीहरूको मानसिक रूपमा चाहिँ विक्षिप्त भएका मान्छेहरूको चाहिँ एउटा द्वन्द्वलाई चाहिँ यहाँ कथाकारले अब ती द्वन्द्व भएको हुनाले यिनीहरूलाई चाहिँ दुश्मनहरू भनेर चाहिँ लेख्या हो। कुरा त्यति नै हो। ओके, द्याट्स द एन्ड अफ नेपाली समरी। ओके, लेट्स टक अबाउट द थीम अफ द स्टोरी। Enemies tells a story between a doctor and patient's husband. Patient's husband is Aboguin. They become enemies because of selfishness, lacking of understanding, cruelty and indifference towards each other's sufferings. This story goes in depth to analyze the reason why two protagonists become enemies. This story revolves around grief and need and up to a point communication. The tension in the story is due to two forces pulling on the Doctor Kirilov. First, his 6-year-old son has just died, and he and his wife are in a heightened state of anguish and shock. The second force pulling at the doctor is that of a stranger, Aboguin, who has come calling at just that moment, begging for the doctor to come and treat his dying wife. So in conclusion, what I can say here in the story is Anton Chekhov's Enemy is a story of grief. Aboguin has been deceived by his wife Papchinsky, who ran away with her boyfriend or her lover Anton. And Kirilov is enraged because he has been called for minor cause, and he has been made a character of joke. Chekhov introduces us to Kirilov, the town physician, and his wife, who had just lost their son to diptheria in the story. Aboguin arrives soon after the physician's son's death and requests the doctor's services to care for his wife, whom he fears is dying. Aboguin and Kirilov are both blinded by their individual grief. When Kirilov arrives at Aboguin's home, the moment Aboguin becomes Kirilov's enemy. Chekhov's enemy does not end with the sense of resolution, however. What works well in the story is Chekhov's ability to communicate loss and how he contrasts the two men. Kirilov's dislike for the Aboguins of the world has been simmering within him, and Enemies is a moving character story. There is not much action, and the story draws its strength from the inner workings of Kirilov and his clouded interactions with Aboguin. On this night, it's pushed over the edge. The story portrays two completely different characters in the moments of grief. They are so much filled with their own agonies that they fail to understand others' sufferings. The story is trying to say that grief does not unite people but separates them. That's the end of today's discussion of Enemies by Anton Chekhov, and I'm sure you got the points with my discussion. If you have any queries, please put your comments in my comment box, and please don't forget to subscribe my channel and like and share the video. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.